Hello, fellow sojourners. Thank you for being a part of my journey towards wholeness, and I hope that I can be a part of your journey towards wholeness too. And thank you so much for tuning into my channel today, where I talk about things with wellness, with health, with the mind, and with the soul. Maybe sometimes we can even combine all three because I believe that all three are equally connected here. Today, what I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to talk about my journey with the ketogenic diet. I have been on keto since September 1st, 2018, and I remember hearing about it. So this story actually has to go a little bit farther back than just that. I had a manager at work that had started it back in January, and I saw him lose. It actually wasn't a manager, I apologize, it was a trainer where I was working, and he lost just a tremendous amount of weight. And he told me a little bit about what he was doing, because I was at about 360 at the time. I was not in a healthy way at all. I was tired all the time. My mind was fuzzy. It wasn't a good thing. I didn't have any energy at all. So he told me about this after I watched him for a couple of months, figuring out what he was doing. He told me about the ketogenic diet. I thought at first that it was possibly either a hoax or just a fad diet. Now I want to do full disclosures for you here. I did try being a vegan about 5 years ago or so, and that was rough because it wasn't sustainable for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say that the vegan lifestyle is wrong. I think that it's something that if you can sustain it, and if you can make it part of your journey towards wholeness, great. I just realized that quite a while ago that it was not a part of my journey. So I started keto back on September 1st of 2018. I saw my trainer at work lose a whole lot of weight, and my wife actually was one that brought it up and said, why don't we try this? And I was thinking to myself, this can't be real, because things that you're eating I thought were too tasty, or then that there wasn't any kind of sacrifice to it. So I started at about 360. I say about 360 because I didn't own a scale at the time. I'll be the first to admit that I was scared. I was scared of how much I weighed. I was scared of what that all looked like here. I can tell you this, that I was in size 54 pants, and that was even starting not to fit at the time. I remember a couple days into it when I personally had the keto flu, and that was not a fun experience at all. I had a headache, I felt weak, and I just felt tired all the time. I just felt tired that whole day. Lasted about a day. When that was done, I felt great. My energy level was just skyrocketing here, and it felt incredible. I am now down to 230, about-ish, somewhere around there. Lowest I've been is at 227. I want to get lower than that because it's what we do. It's where I want to be, and it's where my journey is taking me. I feel it's better for my health, my mind, and my soul, for all three of those things. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I have my slip-ups, I have my mind attacks. I'm not going to sit here and lie. There is times that I go by McDonald's and I smell the fries, and they smell okay, and they smell good. Not going to lie about that. It's true. But do I know how it's going to affect me? And yeah, that's the purpose of this video here today, is to explain what I do to stay on track. There are 3 key areas that I concentrate on to keep myself on track. I can't talk for anyone else how they handle their lifestyle and their journey, because this is a lifestyle and this is a journey. but I can tell you how I handle my lifestyle, my journey, and let's hope that this can help you out all, and maybe you can take some of that with you. First, let's talk about the physical things that we can do here. Number one, and these aren't in any particular order, but I think number one is pretty important. Keep yourself full. When you sit down to eat, eat and feel full by the time that you're done, and until your next meal, don't think about food again. If you're full and you feel saturated, you're not going to think about food again. I am not going to have things in my house, in my life, or go places that trigger me. I'll give you an example of one of my triggers. I like chips. I used to like Doritos. I say used to because I have not had them in a very, very long time. I am not going to have those kind of things in my house, and I'm not going to be around those kind of things when I know that emotionally I can't handle it. I don't go grocery shopping when I'm hungry. Folks, this is the worst time to go grocery shopping, when you're hungry, because everything is going to look good at that point. I think in this age that we're living in the age of the dumpster fire virus, who I've heard another YouTuber talk about, that I think is a great name to call this age that we're living in. Instant Cart is a beautiful thing because you just order your things on there and it comes straight to your house. You don't even have to worry about the temptation of other things that might get in the way. I do not look at the scale. The scale is not your friend. The scale does not tell you the truth about your blood work, about what's inside of you, about the kind of person you are. The scale is just a number. As the great Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, the scale can deceive you, don't trust it. Well, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Have items in your life that will get you over that hump. If you know that if you're in a family that isn't all keto, that's fine. And they need to buy other items, well, that are not going to be supportive of your life, that's fine. Find some substitutes. I personally, once in a while, like a Lily's chocolate bar. It's very low in carbs, and if I can have that with dinner or lunch, that fills me up, and that satisfies my sweet tooth. Mentally, know your triggers. Has anyone heard of this? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. It's called HALT. If you feel any of those ways, be careful of what you're doing, of what you're saying, of where you're going here, because some of your bad habits, some of my bad habits, will be triggered again here. I have to look inside myself mentally to see if I'm any one of those at this time here, at the time, when I feel hungry, when I feel like it's something that I want to do to get myself satisfied again, and I have to rethink what I'm about to do. Remember how you're going to feel afterwards. What I mean by this, I look at a donut sometimes, and I think, yeah, it's sugary and it looks good, but then I think to myself, in 20 to 30 minutes, am I going to be hungry again? Am I going to crash? Very possible. I remember how I feel after I eat something that's going to make me not feel good, and that's a way that I avoid those things, those moments. Remember what your goal is, because this is a tricky one here. Is your goal to be 100% strict, or is your goal to have a ketogenic lifestyle as your style, as something that you adopt? If it's number two, which I think it should be, because I don't like the term diet. I think way too many of us go into a diet thinking that there's a stopping point. I don't think that there should be a stopping point. I'm at about 230-ish. I don't even know where I wanted to go. I thought I wanted to get down to 250. And I'm way past that. Since keto is my lifestyle here, if I slip up once in a while, I'm going to realize that's just part of my journey. And that's going to happen. I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to move onward and be better the next. Find foods that you love, because this will help you in the long run. Okay, an example of this. I really like wings. I think I've posted on Instagram, and my Instagram account name is right there. Please feel free to follow me, cheap plug. And since I'm on the subject, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Add to the comments, and subscribe. I know that's what you're supposed to say on YouTube, and I would love to hear from more of you here. Anyway, on my Instagram, you see that I have wings all the time. This is one of the foods that I love. It's very much allowed for me in my ketogenic journey. This helps me over those humps when I'm at work, or when I see another family member eating something that looks good, but I know it's not part of my journey. So what I do is I think about that I'm going to have that later, and that gets me over that hump a little bit to say, hey, let's keep my taste buds fresh, let's keep myself fresh for what I'm actually going to enjoy, instead of that moment that you know you're not going to enjoy it. Spiritually, know your worth. Okay, so what I mean by that is this is a three-pronged thing. Health, something physical, something mental, and something spiritual that we can all take away from this here. You are worth more than that donut. You are worth more than how you're going to feel after that cheat day. Because I know when I would cheat day, I'd feel pretty miserable. I don't want to feel that way. Know that your worth is more important than that moment here. Know what's going to lift up your spirits. And think about this for just a moment here. If you can hold off a couple hours and have for yourself something that you really like, such as a nice ribeye, how much better is it going to lift up your spirit, than craving in to something that you know that in just a little while you're going to crash from? Okay, this is a big one. Forgive. Most importantly, forgive yourself for when you do fall. It's going to happen. It's part of life. We are bombarded with food all the time. We're bombarded with stress from home, not to mention the current society that's going on right now. It's pretty huge. You're going to fail. And it's okay. It's okay. It's a part of your journey. Just know that when you do fail, it's okay. You forgive yourself. You see that it's a part of your journey. You know what to do next time. And most importantly, don't give up. Forgive yourself and move onward. This is all part of a journey. Do not despise the journey that you're on. What I mean by that is, remember how you feel. Remember the physical things that you can take with you on your journey. And remember where you came from too. Just to tie this back into my previous life and my previous journey getting here, I had someone at work that was watching me constantly and writing down my weight. She was convinced that I was wearing a girdle. Yeah, no, not so much. I had another friend that was into a MLM that was trying to convince me that this was the right path for me. Not so much. It's part of my journey, and anti-MLM, I'll leave that for another channel. This is all part of my journey, where I came from. Don't despise your journey. You learn from it. Keep it as a reminder of where you came from, where you're going, that you don't want to go back to some of those places, and that you're on this journey towards wholeness. We're all in this together. So, in the comments below, tell me how you keep on track. What do you do to forgive yourself? What's your favorite food that you can look forward to? How do you keep going here? Please tell me in the comments below. I would love to hear from you here. Thank you for being a part of my journey towards wholeness here. I hope to have another video sometime next week, since we talked about my favorite things. Since I talked about my favorite things on keto, I talked about wings. I'm going to do a full list here of my favorite things from this week, and also some of my favorite foods on keto that keep me full. So I'd love to hear from you here. Until next time, to the journey.